I made a video yesterday where I talked about gnats. I talked about gnats in the latter half of the video, how much I hate them, how they're annoying. And if you don't know what a gnat is, I'll catch you up, because I didn't know what gnats were until yesterday. The only reason I was talking about gnats yesterday was because I just found out that those little bugs that always surround your car when you're parked for more than 5 minutes in the summertime, and they're really annoying and they're pesky, those things are called gnats. I found that out yesterday, and I was talking about gnats, and I was complaining about gnats, but if I remember correctly, I might have mentioned spiders. I don't know. I say a lot of stuff, so I don't really remember what I say, but I really wanted to talk about spiders today. I wanted to get into spiders because I don't think anybody likes spiders. I mean, do you like spiders? Would you say you like spiders? Because I don't think you like spiders. If I were to take a deep dive into your brain, I don't think I'd find any file in there that says I love spiders. .exe. I don't think I'd find that. I don't think anybody likes spiders. I don't like spiders. Ask me if I like spiders. I don't. I don't like spiders at all. So that's going to be the topic here. This is what we're going to be talking about. My hatred for spiders. I mean, where do we even start? What's point number one? The fact that they have 8 legs. Spiders having 8 legs. I mean, what the fuck? 8 legs? I mean, think about it for a second. 8 whole legs. I mean, that's just terrifying. Like, think about, like, what if a human had 8 limbs? What would you think of that person? You'd probably try to stay away from that person. I would. If I saw a person walking down the street and they had 8 limbs, I'd say, what the hell's going on here? Get me as far away from this person as humanly possible. Get me away. I would not want to be by a person who has 8 limbs. This kind of reminds me of Man Spider. This reminds me of Man Spider. You ever seen the old 1980s Spider-Man cartoon? They had an episode in that show where they showcased Man Spider. And if you don't know who Man Spider is, it's basically the thing I just described. Spider-Man, I think he took some kind of serum, something like that, and then he grew, and instead of just being normal Spider-Man, where he could shoot webs out of his wrists and swing around and climb walls, well, technically he can't shoot it out of his wrist. If we're trying to be comic book accurate here, he uses web shooters. He designed the web shooters himself. In the Tobey Maguire movies, in the old 2000 Tobey Maguire movies, he did have organic webs that shot out of his wrist, but that's not exactly lore accurate. Like, base classic Spider-Man, he has web shooters. He has web shooters, which, to be honest, I don't know. I don't know why when they made Spider-Man in the comics, they decided to give him web shooters. I think that kind of takes away from his whole spider gimmick. Because the real extent of his superpowers are just super strength and sticking to walls. His superpower isn't swinging, because, like, they should have just given him that, you know? If you're gonna say this guy's a Spider-Man, you should have just given him the ability to organically produce webs. Like, at least give him that. Super strength and sticking to walls, you're telling me that those are his only powers? I mean, it's cool, but they should have just given him base webs, because why not? I liked what they did to Tobey Maguire. But base Spider-Man, he has web shooters. That's just the way they designed him. Don't know why. Would have been better if he had organic, but I'm not here to complain about it. Not gonna look into this anymore. But anyways, yeah. Instead of just being the base Spider-Man, he took some serum, I think, and then he grew 3 limbs on his body. I mean, like, not counting, like, the arms. He had 4 limbs. No, he had 8 limbs, sorry. Wait. I actually don't recall. I don't know how many limbs he had, but he had more limbs than usual. Maybe he had 3 or 4 arms. I don't know. I don't think he grew any extra legs. That's kind of weird. I don't think he actually grew any legs. He only grew arms. on his abdomen. Like, that's the only thing. He only grew arms on his abdomen. But he didn't... Or his obliques. I think obliques would be... If you want to get technical. If you want to get technical, he grew arms on his obliques. Yeah, but I don't remember how many. It should have been 4 on each side. If you want to be lore accurate to how spiders actually operate, you would have wanted 4 limbs on each side. That way he could have had 8 total limbs. You know, that's how it should have gone. But for some reason, picturing it in my head, I feel like it was 3. For some reason, I feel like it was 3, but I could be wrong. I could totally be wrong. Maybe that's possible. It's very likely, it's very possible that I'm wrong on this front. But yeah, that's who he became. He became the man spider. He became the man spider. This whole thing also reminds me of the man bat. That's like the reverse Batman. Did you know there's a man bat? You could see, I'm playing Batman Arkham. There's probably going to be Batman Arkham City gameplay in the back of this video. If I don't decide to play Call of Duty Zombies, chances are, you know what, I'm going to make it a point to make the gameplay I'm using right now Batman Arkham City gameplay. I'll just do it, because I already mentioned it. I haven't recorded the gameplay yet, so I'll just play Batman Arkham City after this. Right after this video, so, okay. I'm playing Batman Arkham City right now, so you know I'm a huge Batman fan. And Batman, he has a villain called Man-Bat. Man-Bat. It's a man who's a bat. Instead of being a guy who wears a bat costume, instead it's a man who transformed himself into a bat. Imagine living in Gotham City and seeing Man-Bat. Imagine that, just like look up into the sky, no, it's a bird! It's a plane! Ah, shit, it's Man-Bat. Fuck me, not this, come on! Yesterday it was the Penguin, now we got a Man-Bat in the sky. Joker just blew up the hospital, he blew up a hospital the other day. Now there's a human bat in the sky. Get this thing out of the sky. I just want to go to work. You know, it's 5 a.m. in the morning. I have to go to work. I don't even want to be doing this. I wanted to sleep in this morning, but no, now I'm driving to work. There's a fucking Man-Bat in the sky. Get him out of the sky. Somebody, please. Call animal control. Jeez, that's gotta suck. You know, I think life is bad. Imagine life in Gotham City, God. That just sounds horrible. That sounds like a complete and utter nightmare, the Man-Bat in the sky. He looks terrifying, too. He's a very terrifying creature. Who do you think's more terrifying? Man-Bat or Man-Spider? Who do you think wins that one? A person with 8 limbs or a human bat? Because people don't like bats. People don't like bats, and people don't like spiders. It's kind of crazy to think about, you know. 2 of the most popular superheroes of all time, Batman and Spider-Man, are based off of 2 animals that people hate. No, everybody's afraid of bats, and everybody's afraid of spiders. Yet for some reason, we love Spider-Man and we love Batman. What the fuck? What's wrong with us? What the hell's going on here? This is quite the conundrum we have. Why? It's a very interesting fact, actually. Why is that so? Nobody knows. Nobody has a clue. Maybe we're sick. We're sick people. That's awful to say. Isn't that awful to say? Alright, well. Who do you think wins in a fight? Donald Trump or Jack the Ripper? If you took those 2 people, listen. If you took those 2 people, you put them in the squared circle, you force them to have a boxing match, who do you think wins? Donald Trump or Jack the Ripper? I think it's a pretty good question. I think it's a pretty fair question. Personally, I mean, let's break this down from a fundamental standpoint. Let's see what we're working with here. So in the blue corner, we have Donald John Trump. At least I think his middle name is John. I'm not sure if it's Donald J. Trump, and I feel like I remember it being John. I'm gonna say Donald John Trump. If it's something like Jeffrey, then don't be an asshole about it. I'm pretty sure it's John. So in the blue corner, we have Donald John Trump. So what is he working with? Well, sure, he's an old man. Maybe he's slow. Maybe he's quite fat for his age. No offense. But, you know, maybe, you know, he's shown to have a little grit, right? Like, he's an entrepreneur. Like, he's a president and he's an entrepreneur. So, like, he has to have some level of grit to him, right? So, like, he's got to have some kind of, some form of viciousness to him that could give him, a mentality upside in the fight, you know? Like, maybe he's got the mentality with him. He's got the PMA, the positive mental attitude, to maybe, you know, give him much needed, effort. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure you know what I'm getting at. If you don't know what I'm getting at, then, I don't know. Develop a keen sense for context clues or something. Ugh. Okay. And then in the red corner, we have Jack the Ripper. Now, what does Jack the Ripper have? I don't know if he has the effort. I don't know if he has the grit Donald John Trump has. However, Jack the Ripper, he has physicality. Remember, this guy, I'm pretty sure he strangled strippers to death. No, I'm pretty sure he ripped them. But why would they call him? He had to rip strippers. What does it mean when you rip? What does it mean when you rip a stripper? Like, rip her in half? Why did they call him Jack the Ripper? I thought he strangled his victims. They should have called him Jack the Strangler, Jack the Choker. Why did we call him Jack the Ripper? Who was he ripping in half? I digress. This guy would murder people, so he has to have some sort of physicality. Jack the Ripper has to have some sort of, physical assertion factor on his front, right? So, does he have the grit, though? Does he have the effort? Does he have the... Is perspicacity, is that a word I can use in this situation? I've been wanting to use the word perspicacity this entire time, but I don't really know what it means. I've heard Andrew Tate use the word perspicacity, but it sounds something that, like, it sounds like it relates to grit, but I'm not sure. I'm gonna say Jack the Ripper might have some perspicacity. I mean, if you're going to be a serial killer, you gotta have some level of dedication to you, right? So maybe Jack the Ripper just has, like, everything up on Trump or something. Like, if they got into a fight, maybe, like, he's just, like, a mecha version of Trump. But, like, he actually goes out and he does it, you know? He's, like, the muscle. Trump is the brains. He's the brains. And Jack the Ripper's, like, the brains and the muscle. He's the whole package or something. So I think if Jack the Ripper and Donald Trump got into a fight, I think Jack the Ripper would probably win. Make them butt heads. Jack the Ripper, he's gonna rip. He's gonna do some ripping. He's gonna rip people. He's Jack the Ripper, he rips people, so... In other news, I discovered what gnats are. I know what a gnat is now. I've always defined a gnat as those small bugs who surround your car when you're parked for more than 5 minutes. But today I was told that those little bugs that are just an annoyance, they're actually called gnats. Why did I never know that before? Gnats. Why do gnats exist? What do they do? What the fuck is up with gnats? All they are is an annoyance. You ask me, if I could snap my fingers right now, I'd probably kill a couple of those things. I'm not a fan of gnats. Not really. I don't know. If gnats were running for president, I don't think I'd vote for them. Yeah. I think I think if we went to, like, the Holocaust or something, I think I'd burn the, like, I think if I ruled the world, I'd have a gnat holocaust. You're probably wondering why the hell I'm talking about the Holocaust. That got kind of dark. Wow. Talk about a total tonal shift. The Holocaust. Yeah, I'd do that, but I'd do it with gnats. And nobody would really be disgusted at me, because I feel like every human being, I think they'd be on board with a total gnat holocaust. You ask me, we should have a gnat holocaust. I think a lot of good things could be done with that. I don't see anybody disagreeing with me. I don't see anybody saying no. I don't see anybody saying shut up. Okay, maybe a couple of people. Maybe the majority of people. I don't know. I think that's a good idea. A gnat incineration. Throw them to the fire. I don't think you're gonna gas gnats, though. No, you're not gonna not to the gnat. I don't know. Can gnats breathe? Are they allowed to breathe? Can they do that? Then we can do some, we can, like, chemically annihilate them. But right now I'm just thinking about fire. Make them suffer. I'm sick of those little pimply little shits. Oh, pimply little shits. You ever seen the video where the guy says, "You're not that guy, pal. Trust me, you're not that guy." That whole video, he was calling the recorder a pimply little shit. Yeah, but that's what gnats are. They're pimply little shits. So, yeah. So if Donald Trump and Jack the Ripper got into a fight, Jack the Ripper's probably winning. And gnats, they're gonna be burned. So, what's going on with the Muppets? I haven't exactly heard a lot recently about the Muppets. Does anybody care about them anymore? Where are they? Where have they been? Where have the Muppets been? I was talking about that earlier with a coworker of mine. What the fuck? What happened? Where's Kermit? Where's Miss Piggy? Where do they live now? What are they up to? What do you think they're do you think they're doing crack? Do you think they've discovered crack? Do you think they're injecting heroin into their arteries? What are they doing? What are the Muppets up to? Why haven't they been on air? Or have they? Have the Muppets been on air? To be fair, I'm asking these questions, but I didn't do any research. Like, I probably could have done research. I could have gone on Google. I probably could have gone on YouTube, found something. Maybe the Muppets have been out there. I have no clue. You probably don't know. What do you know about the Muppets? Nobody pays attention to the Muppets. I don't even know if they're still popular. I think Jeffy the doll probably outranks the Muppets now because... I mean... No, I actually, come to think of it, I think I saw a video not too long ago where Kermit the Frog, he jumped off a building and he ended his own life. I think Kermit the Frog killed himself. If I'm not mistaken, I saw a video. You might have seen the video too, you might know what I'm talking about. He leaped off a building. His brain matter splattered all over the sidewalk. People were horrified. People were screaming. In absolute shock. I think he ended his own life. But I don't know what the policy is about puppets. Like, can they die? Like, do they, you know, because like cats, they have 9 lives, right? What's the rule for puppets? What do they get? How many lives do they get? It's kind of unfortunate being a human being, you know? You only get 1 life as a human. Why do cats get 9? Maybe the Muppets, I don't know. I'm gonna have to look that up too. How many lives do the Muppets get? Because I don't know. I'm genuinely confused. And beyond that, what does Muppet even stand for? Because the Muppets, they're puppets. But where does the M come from? Uppets? Uppets comes from puppets, but where does the M come from? Mystery. It comes from mystery, because nobody knows. Nobody knows what Muppets mean. Maybe you do. If you can tell me what the M in Muppets means and why they're called the Muppets, then I don't know. I'll be surprised. There's nothing else to really be said in that front. I'll be surprised. There's always somebody. Everybody knows. Everybody has their own niche knowledge. There's got to be someone out there who can tell me that. Why you know that, I don't know. Who's doing that much research into the Muppets? Who cares that much about the Muppets to know what the M stands for? Probably me. Probably me, because I'm the only one. I think I'm the only one in 2026 actually talking about the Muppets. I might be the only one talking about the Muppets. Do you think if Kermit's still alive, do you think if Kermit has more than one life, and after that whole incident where he jumped off the building, do you think he's like BoJack Horseman now? Just living out his days, thinking about what once was, drinking himself to death. What? We gotta find out what he's up to. I don't know. He used to be such a fun soul too, Kermit. He used to be such a fun soul, so high-spirited. He'd be able to light up a room in a second, you know? He was that guy. He was that good. But in Miss Piggy, I was never a fan of Miss Piggy. I never liked Miss Piggy. She's like that one fat friend. That one, like, yeah, she's like that one fat friend. She's just, you know, but like, no, not like a good fat friend, though, you know? Like, you know, there are two types of fat people who exist. Two types of fat people who exist. There's the jolly, nice, kind fat people. The really high-spirited ones, kind of like Kermit. Very uppity-juppity. And then just the pigs. Just the pigs. The people who have no sense of self-control. The Miss Piggies of the world. Miss Piggy always struck me as that type. She always... Kermit could do better. Kermit could have always done better. Maybe that's one of his regrets. Maybe that's why he's drinking himself to death right now, because of Miss Piggy. You ever thought about that? Maybe that's why. That's, of course, assuming if he's drinking himself to death. Remember, I completely made up this scenario. He could be totally fine. Maybe he's taking his dog for walks in the park. Maybe he's on sabbatical because he just wants to enjoy life and step away from the entertainment industry. Why do I always assume the worst? Why do I always assume the worst? Why am I that kind of person? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's me. Maybe Kermit's not having problems. Maybe I'm having problems. Maybe there's a deeper diagnosis here. Maybe we need to step back and do some self-reflection. But to be honest with you, I don't want to do any self-reflection. I don't like it. I don't like going into the inner files of my system. No good. No good. I'd rather be talking about Kermit the Frog. I think Kermit the Frog, there's a lot more to be explored there. A lot more. What other Muppets were there? I only remember Kermit and Miss Piggy. What other Muppets were there? For some reason, I'm thinking of Oscar the Grouch, but that wasn't the Muppets. That was Elmo. Yeah, so like in the whole grand scheme of like all the puppet competitions, you have Jeffy the Doll, Kermit the Frog, and you have Elmo. Those are like the big three. That's Microsoft, Google, and what else is there? Bing? What do I have on my computer? What's hold on. Microsoft, oh, it's Microsoft Edge, whatever. Microsoft, Google, whatever the third one is. Can't name it off the top of my head. Those are the big three competitors. Elmo, Jeffy the Doll, and Kermit. You know? Ooh. Who would you say is the best out of those? Like the big three? They're all good in their own right. But like if you had to like say the best, who's better? Jeffy, Kermit, or Elmo? Elmo's always struck me the wrong way. He's always given me like psychotic, killer, untrustworthy vibes. That's what I've always gotten from Elmo. He has a darker half to him. I've never trusted Elmo. There's always there's been a couple of creepypastas made of Elmo. Never trusted that guy. Jeffy's just a fucking idiot. I mean, he's literally just an idiot. There's nothing else to him except the fact that he spanks his penis. Honestly, I think Kermit's the best. He's got the voice, he's got the presence. As I said earlier, he'd always be able to just light up a room. I think out of the three, Kermit's the best, which is such a shame because we haven't seen him in a while. Or we have. We still don't know. I've done no research. Okay. Well, to be honest with you, I'm just as confused now as when I started this video. I've tried to form some sort of direction and answer some questions, but I feel like I'm still at square zero here. I have a new favorite holiday. You heard that correctly. I have a new favorite holiday. Oh, God. That was a half burp right there. That was a half burp. That was like a very watery burp. I burped, but then it kind of like turned into a slight acid reflux. That was disgusting. I hate it. I didn't like that. Was not a fan of that, but besides the point. Let's not tangent. Let's not tangent. Let's stay on track. I have a new favorite holiday. It used to be Christmas. My favorite holiday used to be Christmas. But I did some careful reconsidering, and I found out that my favorite holiday has now been changed to Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is my new favorite holiday. Now, you're probably asking yourself, John, why the fuck is Thanksgiving your favorite holiday? Thanksgiving? Seriously? That holiday? Thanksgiving's your favorite? Why? What's the point? The Pilgrims? Who gives a shit about the Pilgrims? You're telling me you give a shit about the Pilgrims? No, asshole. I don't give a shit about the Pilgrims. I give a shit about the food, the turkey, the ham, the pumpkin pie, especially the pumpkin pie. I love the pumpkin pie. And you're probably asking yourself, again, you're probably asking two questions now. You're saying, well, John, what about Christmas? You just said Christmas was your favorite holiday. Christmas is so much better. You get presents on Christmas. The Christmas, you know, the holiday season. Nothing beats the holiday season. And I'll tell you this. And listen closely, jackass. Thanksgiving is a part of the holiday season. Why? I don't know. But think about it. Every kind of holiday cheer you get during Christmas time, you're already getting by Thanksgiving. Come Thanksgiving time, Christmas music is already playing on the radio. By November 1st, Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas is already playing in every single Target you know. Thanksgiving already has the Christmas spirit. It has the whole mood, the vibe, the scenery, the feel. Thanksgiving has all of that. But it has food. Really great food at that. What does Christmas Day have to offer? What, like a pot roast? What do people normally eat for Christmas dinner? My family doesn't usually go all out for Christmas dinner. Going all out for Christmas dinner is a very optional choice. Thanksgiving, it's a must. Thanksgiving is known for its food. Christmas is optional, so I'm not going to count Christmas food as... I'm not... It doesn't... No. There's no Thanksgiving... Thanksgiving beats Christmas in terms of food category. Alright? Can we agree on that? Do you want to agree on that? I'd like it if you agreed on it. We're agreeing on it. I say we agree on it. Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday for that reason. It has everything Christmas has to offer and more. Now, gifts... Well, hold on. Let's not completely veer away yet. Let's talk about gifts. Because people want to talk about gifts. Christmas is known for its gifts. Alright. Well... Let's talk about this. I'm 20 years old now. I'm an adult. Maybe when I was 12, I thought gifts were fun. Maybe, no, not even 12. Maybe when I was 8, I thought gifts were fun. Those were the times I used to get my Batman action figures, my Nerf guns, video games. Christmas was actually something special back then. You know what I get nowadays? You know what I get nowadays for Christmas? Fucking pajama pants. I get pajama pants. And some Snicker bars if I'm lucky. For fuck's sakes, give me a break. I actually think I also, I got some jelly beans too last Christmas, but still. I mean, what are we doing? Jelly beans? Jelly beans to numb my pain? Jelly beans with the sugar to give me a temporary sugar high to distract me from The mortality. The mortality, fuck. You see, Thanksgiving has it all. Well, technically, I can't make that argument, actually, come to think of it. Not now that I'm thinking about it, I can't make an argument saying that Christmas is just, it uses food as a distraction, because I was just bringing up how I love Thanksgiving because of the food. And the food on Thanksgiving also distracts me from my mortal coil. So, that is, there is kind of a loophole going on here. Kind of contradicting myself a little bit. What can I say? I just like, maybe I like Thanksgiving better because it gives me a better distraction. I don't know. I don't know. What the fuck what am I talking about? Am I losing my mind? Am I losing my marbles? Have I finally been pushed over the edge? Probably. Probably. I think it's time for me to go. It's time for me to exit. Goodbye, everybody. Fuck. No. I said this in one of my last videos. I still have a couple of more years to go before I call it quits. There are still some things I want to do. I want to go skydiving. Yeah, I want to go skydiving at least once. Yeah, that's cool. You want to know what I'll never understand, though? Like, skydiving's fun. I'll never understand the people, though, who make it their life's goal to climb Mount Everest. What kind of person does that? What kind of person makes their life goal climbing Everest? What do you achieve by doing that? Like, at least with skydiving, it's fun. You jump out of a plane, it's exhilarating, the adrenaline's rushing. Your life is on the line, it's fun. What do you get by climbing Mount Everest? Sore legs? Sore thighs? Sore quads? Sore calves? A fucking frostbite? What do you get from climbing Everest? Like, sure, okay, fine. You hit the peak of Everest. Let's just say you're one of the lucky ones and you don't die and you hit the peak of Everest. Now what? Now you're standing there like an asshole. Your balls are freezing. Many degrees below zero. Don't know how many degrees below zero it is. Your body hurts. You're cold. But hey, I climbed on top of Mount Everest. Give me a break. Like, if someone tells me they climbed Mount Everest, I might say, wow, like, that's pretty cool, but then I'll be like, what is this guy, a fucking... a retard? I mean, what are we like, I don't know. I don't think a person... Can you think a person with autism could climb Mount Everest? Is this a question I should really be asking? Maybe they could do it with enough training and enough YouTube videos. Maybe a person with autism, maybe they might be able to climb Mount Everest. But I'd say that's stretching it. Who knows? They'd have to have a really good plan. You know, why am I assuming that less fortunate people can't do it? Why am I assuming that? Maybe has there been... Oh god. Oh god. This video's over. This video is over. We're done. I am done talking. I'm gonna go eat dinner now, alright? I just had some yogurt. I just consumed some yogurt out of a cup. I believe you call those things cups. You know those little Yo-Plat capsules? You know the Yo-Plat capsules? I had it out of one of those. I think you can call that a cup. Traditionally, when you think of cups, you think of, you know, a normal cup. I don't need to describe to you what a normal cup looks like. You know what a normal cup looks like. Traditionally, when you think of a cup, you think of what? You think of a cup. You don't think of a Yo-Plat capsule. You don't, but I'm pretty sure you can call that a cup. I'm like 95% sure that is considered a cup. But I'm not sure. Maybe there's a more technical term for it. the things that Yoplait, however you pronounce the company, the things they put their yogurt in. We're gonna call it a cup. We're gonna call it a yogurt cup for the sake of this video. A yogurt cup. I just ate yogurt out of that yogurt cup. And you want to know something? You want to know how I feel? Would you like to know how I feel about those yogurt cups? I don't think they contain as much yogurt. Well, I don't think. It's not about what I know they don't contain as much yogurt as I'd like them to. Every time I eat yogurt, every time I eat Yoplait yogurt, I'm never full. I'm never satiated. I like the way it tastes. I'm a fan of the way Yoplait yogurt tastes. I'm quite the fan, actually. But there's not enough. There's not enough yogurt in that to keep me satiated, as I said. So that kind of makes me a little upset. That put me in a more negative state of mind because now I'm sitting here. I wanted to eat something. I wanted a snack that would make me feel full. I went to my fridge. I consumed a snack. But now all of a sudden, I don't feel full. So I came in with a mission and came out with a mission unsuccessful. So you could see why a guy like me, a guy at my stature, would be slightly... Hold on, I'm looking for a word. Alright, give me a second. Will you give me a second? I'm looking for a word. Slightly... PO'd. Disgruntled. Slightly disgruntled. That's the word I'm looking for. You can see why a guy in the position I'm in would be slightly disgruntled after going to his fridge to find something to eat, only to eat something and not be filled from it with, and he went into that task with the goal of becoming full, but I never got full. You could see why a guy who was put in that specific situation would be disgruntled. Like I am disgruntled right now in this predicament. So, the only thing I have right now to genuinely pass on are bad vibes. I have a bad presence right now. Really bad presence. And I wish I could make it better. I wanna, you know, I like to be nice and upbeat. I like to encourage. But the world isn't cinnamon spice and everything nice right now. I'm hungry. I'm hungry. I'd like to give you something to help, you know, push you through the day, but honestly, at this point, I think I'm just gonna drag you down. Hungry people only drag people down. Quote, oh my god, quote that. That was philosophical. Hungry people only drag others down. That seems like it could possibly, potentially mean something, don't you think? That sounded somewhat smart. You see, sometimes I just start talking and I secretly unfold. Not secretly, I surprisingly unfold my secret genius. I just expose myself to the public how much of a genius I am with quotes like that. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy, kind of spectacular. And it's kind of paradoxical almost because in that scenario, I was referring to myself as the hungry person. So I'd be the hungry person dragging you people down. However, me being the hungry person, I just gave you a very, very great quote. So I didn't, even though I was the hungry person, technically I didn't drag you down. I gave you a valuable piece of information, a quote. So does that debase the value of my quote? Does it? I don't know. You tell me. It seemed good. It seemed good. It felt like a good quote. Honestly, I'd love to talk longer. Like, I wish I had more stuff. No, I could talk a little long. Do you want me to talk a little longer? I think I'll talk a little bit longer. This is a completely separate topic. This is a post I saw just yesterday. It was a post that said, this is the news. It was a post that said, conjoined twins who paid double tuition for college now only earn one, like the equivalent of one person's salary at a job. So these twins in the post I read paid double tuition for college. Now they only earn one person's worth of salary. Oh my, like, imagine that. Just imagine being those conjoined twins. If I were those conjoined twins, like, let's say, like, hypothetically, I was one half of those conjoined twins, I'd be pretty upset. I'd be pretty upset, pretty disgruntled, like I am right now. Wouldn't be happy. Probably be talking to my other half. I'd probably be in my room. We'd probably be in our room after we just accepted the job. We'd be sitting there on the bed. The blinds will be halfway closed, so like it's a kind of dark room, but you can kind of see a little bit of light getting through the blinds. We'd be talking. It would be a pretty depressing atmosphere. And in the light that's casting from the blinds, you could see little dust specks. You could, like, the light illuminates the little dust specks that are passing through the air. And I'd be talking with my other half. And let's just say, for sake of experiment here, my other half is Michael Jordan. Me and Michael Jordan were conjoined twins, which on paper doesn't really make sense because he's black and I'm white. So that would be a pretty weird. This would be a pretty weird conjoined twins scenario. In full-fledged honesty. But just for the sake of argument, that's what's going on. So me and Michael Jordan were sitting there, we're looking at each other. We're saying, well, we just paid double tuition for college, now we're only earning one man's salary? You ask me. This fucking sucks. And then Michael Jordan, he looks at me and he's like, well, yeah, I don't, what do you want me to say? Do you think I like this? Do you think I'm a fan of this? I said, no, I didn't assume that, Michael. He's like, no. He's like, no. Do you think that I didn't know that? Did you think that I didn't know this was a bad situation? I said, Michael, it's no need to get that serious. No, you shut the fuck up. Michael says, you shut the fuck up. You never thought anything of me. You always thought I was the lesser half. Michael, I never said that. I don't... Why would you ever think that? No, but you never knew. You never knew. You don't... I mean, you don't know any better. Sure, you think these things in your head. Oh, Michael, you think... I'm fucking done. I'm done. I'm not running through... I'm not doing this shit anymore. I'm ending this. This video is over. I've been speaking for 9 minutes and 50 seconds, for fuck's sakes. I'm done. What the hell was that? What the hell was that? I locked in for a second. I became possessed with storytelling. I'm done. This video is now past the 10-minute mark. I've spoken for too long. I've said too much. I have to piss. I have to piss really bad. I mean extremely bad. I really have to go. So, we're on a ticking time bomb here. We're on a ticking time bomb here. There's only a limited amount of time that I can talk for right now. If you catch my drift. I drank a lot of Diet Pepsi. I was just at a local restaurant of mine, enjoying a nice burger, and beside that burger, there were some fries. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. There were some fries, but there was also loads and loads of refills of Diet Pepsi. I had to go through at least 4 of those things. And those things are piss machines. Let me tell you, they are piss machines. I just took a shit in the bathroom. I was just upstairs, took a fat shit in the bathroom. And I'm not even exaggerating. It was fat. It was fat and it was soft. And it was disgusting. It was indefensible. That's how bad it was. That's how horrifying, scary, threatening it was. It was indefensible. Indefensible dung. But I was also pissing a lot in there too. But even so, that's not gonna save me now because I still have to piss. So we're gonna see where this goes. I'm gonna see how quickly I could talk about all the things I want to talk about. I'm gonna see how quickly I can do that. I can accomplish that. So let's see. Let's see. I'm really, because I gotta be honest with you, this doesn't feel nice. This doesn't feel nice at all. You ever held in piss before? You ever done that? You ever tried to do that before? It kind of burns. But it's more like a slow burn, you know? It's not impactful. It creeps up on you when you really have to go. It just creeps up on you. It sits in the back, stirring and boiling, waiting patiently to be released. It's actually, I think it's making it worse. If I'm gonna have a moment of metacognition here, I think it's making it worse by talking about it. The more I'm picturing the piss in my head, the more I'm picturing it sitting there in my bladder. Does the piss sit in your bladder? Where does urine rest? Where does it? Oh, did you hear that? I don't know if you heard that. There was a beep that just went off in the bathroom. It scared me. I think it was my Roomba. But we're not here to talk about my Roomba. Actually, you know what? Hold on. Let's sidebar for a second, because I can actually talk about my Roomba for a bit. You know what a Roomba is? I'm assuming you know what a Roomba is. But if you don't know what a Roomba is, it's a self-automated vacuum cleaner. It bumps into walls and it turns around and it vacuums your house by itself. It's a Roomba. You probably know what it is. I shouldn't have to explain it to you. You fucking idiot. Jeez. Sorry. I don't mean to be mean. My bad. My apologies. Anyways, the reason I want to talk about my Roomba for just a quick little second is because sometimes in the middle of the night, actually probably most likely around 3 a.m., I can hear that Roomba go off. There have been times when I used to stay up really late, and I'd go and I'd get myself something from the refrigerator early in the morning, and by early in the morning I really mean late at night. Like early in the morning is referring to right around the 2 a.m., 3 a.m. time slot. I used to do that, and I'd hear an ominous noise coming from the darkness in my basement. My basement door was always open. If you look down it, it's just a dark corridor all the way downstairs, and in it, you can hear the Roomba slowly just creeping ominously. You can hear it cleaning stuff. And I always thought, you know, why the hell is the Roomba going off in the middle of the night? I don't know if it has a timer set. I think I asked my parents about this once, and I think there's like a timer or something. I don't know, but it goes off in the middle of the night. Maybe it's a ghost. Oh my, don't even get me started on ghosts. Holy shit. You ever seen the movie The Conjuring? You ever seen that before? You ever seen The Conjuring? That one scene where the ghoul is sitting on top of the dresser? Oh, that's creepy. If you don't know, you don't know, but if you know, you know. IFYKYK. If you know, you know. It's a fucking horrifying scene. That may be happening in my house. That ghoul might be in my basement. Maybe it possessed the Roomba and it's well, maybe it's a nice ghost. If a ghost is possessing your Roomba, and it's trying to clean your house, maybe it's a good ghost. Maybe it doesn't have any ill intentions. Because it's doing help. It could be doing worse things, like it could be standing in the corner of my room trying to scare me. But instead it's cleaning my house. It's actually doing good things. I'm actually, you know what? I'm totally okay with a ghost being in my house if the ghost is being productive. If it's doing work, if it's paying its dues, then fine. That ghost is allowed, by all means, with open arms. That ghost is allowed to stay in my house, because it actually is contributing, you know? That's like the ghost's... That's like a ghost's version of rent. Possessing a Roomba and doing chores. It's paying its dues. I'm fine with that. But yeah, that's just one random thing that happens in the middle of the night that kind of creeps me out, but now that I've kind of rationalized it and thought about it, it's not the worst thing in the world. And I'm not going to be scared anymore. Instead, I'm just going to be thankful. I'm going to be thankful that it's cleaning my basement at night. Good job, ghost. Good job, ghost. But anyways, back to urine. Back to the urine that potentially sits in my bladder. We never answered the question. We never came to a conclusion. Where does... When you have to pee, where does it sit? It doesn't sit in your urethra. Your urethra, that's just the exit tube. That's the exit path. That's the escape pod. No, but like, what is... I'm gonna say bladder. I'm gonna say bladder. Do you mind if I look this up? Do you mind? You probably don't. You probably don't mind. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, wait, what is that? You do mind. I don't give a shit anyways. I'm still gonna look it up. Hold on. Where does urine sit in the... Oh, where does urine sit? Where does urine sit? Urine is stored in the bladder! Urine is stored in the bladder, a hollow, muscular organ located in the pelvis between the hip bones. You see, this is why I love Google. This is why I love Gemini. Oh wait, this isn't Google. This is Microsoft Edge. This is why I love Microsoft Edge. Not only did it tell me that it was stored in the bladder, but it also gave me the coordinates. The exact coordinates of where the bladder sits. Now, isn't that just fantastic? Isn't that just fantastic? I'm having a good day. I'm having a good day. I still have to piss. Don't get me wrong, I still have to piss, and I'm probably going to end the video right now. Like, just about. In the coming moments, I'm probably about to end the video. But I think I cleared a lot of air today. I cleared a lot of air in this video. We got a lot done. We discovered that the ghost who haunts me is actually a good ghost who does good things. And we also found out that, my acidic urine sits in my bladder. We found that out, so now I know things. All of my questions have been cleared up. The air has been cleared. We've cleared the air. So, we're ending on an upbeat note tonight, ladies and gentlemen. So, anyways, thank you for your time.